Hello, welcome to WCSM's General Store. It's good to have you back with us. We're glad to be back, and we hope that you drug a bunch of your friends, kicking and screaming even, to the General Store. I am your host, Sheila Stephen, and as always, with me is Curt, Mark Raper, and Bill Williams, and it's good to be back with you on this January Friday. So excited. Now, last week we talked a little bit about New Year's resolutions and traditions and all that kind of stuff. And so I've been wanting to talk a little bit about, my life's work. And I've been blessed to do a lot of things, right? God's been really good to me. But my life's work has been my kids. And so I like to talk a lot about my kids. I know, right? I know you guys didn't know that. I mean, even though you've been with me for 20 years.
You've got kids?
I mean, literally, I was Bloomington's Kathy Lee Gifford for years. Cody. Garrett. And I know that. And
we knew you had a dog.
Right. But, I've got two kids.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like, when I worked at the radio station, I was only there 2 years before I had Garrett. So then it was like full-on mom, like Kathy Lee Gifford syndrome. Seriously. Of course, I was like 38 when I had him, 40 when I had Griffin, so I was older. And I just love my boys. Like, not that you don't love your kids, but you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't want to talk about anything else. Nothing else mattered, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so there was some hate mail.
Oh, stop.
Oh, no, yes.
What?
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of flack. Totally, I felt I could totally see how Kathy Lee Gifford felt. And she got it on a larger scale than me, obviously, because she was a national name. But yeah, a lot of people, I got a lot of flack for talking about my kids all the time.
I can't believe
they
that.
didn't. Yeah.
I mean, I believe it, but it's unbelievable that it did happen.
If people would take the time.
I know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can't believe
This bothers me so much. I'm going to take the time and write a letter.
But I will say, I know, right? But I will say this. The amount of flack that I got or emails that were sent that were negative times 10-fold the good that came, from people in the community that just love Garrett and Griffin.
70 times 7.
70 times 7. This is in the 70 times 7 studio. That's right. It's a nice way to get that in there. I like it. But yes, like 70-fold. People who, and it's been so fun. And the same with you all. I mean, we were on the radio for 20 years, and so the community got to see our kids grow up, right? I mean, like Garrett literally was born the year we started together as a show. And so, so fast forward now, Griffin, our youngest, is 18. And he just got his private pilot's license. Mm-hmm. And this was
Very
not
impressive.
really awesome. He's 18 years old and he's flying, And this was not on the radar even like when he graduated from high school last May, he wanted to be like an aviation, like he was thinking going into aviation mechanics, is what it was. Okay. And his best friend ended up getting his pilot's license and is at Purdue with their pilot school, taking their program. And then his girlfriend's dad and sister both have their balloon license and private license. Yeah.
You gotta have a balloon license?
Oh yeah, you
have
to
have a license.
Aviation, FAA.
You can't just get in a balloon and
just get in
take
a balloon?
off.
No, this isn't the balloon you carry around with you. No, you don't have to have a license for that.
Thank you.
You're okay at the next birthday party.
Yeah, you're okay to go down to the Party Central and get your balloons.
It's like, okay.
No, the hot air balloons. Yeah, you have to have
a
a balloon pilot license, and then they got their. So that really, I think, inspired Griffin, right, to get his. So he went over and got his over in the Cincinnati area, and so he just recently got his private license. He's now working toward commercial license, instrument rating, all that stuff, and then he's eventually going to get his instructor license, and he'll be able to instruct as well. He's flown solo, which is a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
So here's what happens. Yes. I didn't realize, I've learned so much watching him go through this journey. But whenever you fly, when you're learning and you first fly solo, so used to, you'd be in a plane and it was tandem. Like you'd be up here and your instructor behind.
Okay.
And you'd fly your first solo and they'd cut the tail off your T-shirt, which mean they now you're free to go or whatever. You've done it. You know what I'm
They're
saying?
not.
Oh, okay.
They're not having to hold you. Yeah, because that's how they'd
gotcha.
have to get your attention or whatever.
Okay.
And so you didn't need them anymore, so they'd cut your tail your T-shirt off. Well, they still do that. So he got the tail of his T-shirt cut off.
Nice.
and flew his solo and everything. But he just recently got his actual private license, so he can now fly like no instructor, no nothing. And so we got to go up with him, and it was incredible.
Now, wait a minute. You're scared to death of roller coasters.
Oh, you know the story. And I've tell this every time that if there was $1 million in a suitcase, $5 million, $1 billion, I don't care.
Oh, stop!
billion?
Stop it!
Really?
No, you have no
Stop
idea
it.
my fear of heights. I would not, if it was at the end of a roller coaster, and if I rode the roller coaster and got off, I would not ride the roller coaster. I'm serious.
Listen.
Like talking about it right now, my chest is constricting. I don't think you understand. I'm so afraid of heights. Like I can't watch a movie.
I'd do it for $2.
You do it for a free ticket on the roller coaster. Yeah.
They get me in the park for nothing. Well, here we go.
No, I mean, so you know the movie Polar Express?
Well, that's more like it.
Polar Express?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know the scenes where they're... I can't even watch
don't-
those.
Really?
Oh, I get just sick.
Wow.
So I, yeah.
That is a cartoon, you know that.
I know, right? You would think. I can't do it. But so, yeah, I don't like to fly. Now, I
So
will
let's
fly.
get back to the $1 billion here. Though. I just want to talk to you about this. Really?
You realize what $1 billion
You
is,
really
right?
realize
I couldn't
what
do
we
it.
could do, right?
Now, I didn't say Perry and the boys wouldn't strap me into the
That's
car
what I'm thinking.
and go, send!
Push the button. We'll split it up, you know?
Hurry, she's chewing through the straps. No, I mean,
So you have never, ever been on,
one.
and was it the time that...
Red or blue racer.
Yeah,
Oh.
at Kings Island.
At Kings Island
I about
years
fell
ago.
out of that one time.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, you can't go by Mark.
It is true. I was,
yeah, you
I was-
can.
You can.
My dad had to grab onto me while we were. I was very young. That's when Kings Island hadn't been there too long. Probably just right before the Brady Bunch went. And
I was going to say, you're
The
familiar.
Brady
You
Bunch
knew
went-
the Brady Bunch was
went to
there.
Kings
Oh, I
Island.
didn't
Yeah.
Right.
know that.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know
also
that.
a little bit of trivia, and you probably know this because we're not as a huge
I don't know. She's
Brady Bunch
much
fan.
better than
I had not heard this. I didn't know.
So the dad, what was the dad's name?
Mike Brady.
Right. I was thinking of his real name, but okay.
What is it?
Mike
go with
Reed?
that.
Is it Mike
Yeah,
Reed?
I think so.
Anyway.
No, yeah, that's
so
not
they
it.
got on the red
Robert Reed.
Robert Reed. So
That's
they
it.
got on those racers, right? That was a big scene. And the producers had the cameras mounted to the front of the roller coaster, right? And as they are saying, okay, let's get on, and we'll blah 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 blah. He says, those don't look safe. Those don't look, and they're like, oh, come on, they're fine, they're fine. We did this, we did that, we did that. He said, no, go ahead and send them through once and see. Both of them fell off.
No kidding.
Both of them
Wow.
fell off during that ride and would have come right into the riders if that would have happened. So yeah, just a little bit of roller coaster trivia there for you.
There you go.
So
Yeah,
not that
Did
it
you
helps
roll-
your case.
which
I
one did you
at all.
remember. I don't remember which one I was on, but I remember I was scared to death, and I remember now.
Shift. Here comes
This
the
is going to be hard because I'm on the booster seat pillows. I may not be able to get back up from this, but literally, I was down in the seat of the roller coaster like this. I'm not making
Oh
it
yeah,
up.
I was too.
I was scared to death. I will never get on another
Well,
one.
then the crazy thing about that, after I went through that experience, my brother talked me into riding it again with him. And my dad was about ready to kill me.
So was
They
it,
hate you, don't
Yeah.
they?
was it because you were too little for the seatbelt or the strap or what?
No, I wasn't too little because I got to ride with Brett, so I don't know.
That's
I think
interesting.
I was just young, but I
Yeah.
don't think I think it made the height requirement.
Wow.
It was
I
it was
could've
a long
sworn-
time. I was probably just 7 or 8 years
Do you
old.
remember the time that the radio station took a bunch of listeners to
Yeah, Holiday World.
Holiday World, yeah, and we went. I
Yeah.
could have sworn you rode something with us then.
Oh heavens!
No.
not a
Okay.
roller coaster.
Okay. Maybe the bus. You were the bus with us.
I was
That's
on the bus.
He was on the bus.
The trolley from the parking lot. That's what it was. Yeah, that
That
was
was
it.
cool. You did such a great job. doing
I'll
that,
ride
too.
that. Give me $1 million for that. I'm there.
And I think she rode the Lazy River.
Did you?
I might have done it, but I don't like the log flume, the one that goes down. Anything from high to low, I won't do.
So what are you saying? Did you get in the plane with Griffin?
So I did, and it
Seriously?
was awesome. It was awesome. I wasn't scared. I prayed. I prayed for me and him because prayed that I would have a peace and a calmness about it, but also prayed that for him that his mother wouldn't make him so nervous that he'd be whatever. And it was great. And Garrett went with us, so the three of us got to go up, and he did great. I was so proud of him, and he did a great job takeoff, landing, and he kept saying, "How am I doing? How am I doing, Mom? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm all right, bud. You're doing great."
It's a good video.
Did you take his hands off the wheel?
No.
Look, Mom.
Look, no hands. No.
Okay.
Did you do upside down?
No, but I warned him with his life. I told him, because they do maneuvers.
Oh yeah,
that's what's so
they
cool.
They can do upside down.
When they're teaching them, they make them go up and do on purpose stalls. They stall the plane out, and they have to recover the plane, right?
Okay. Right. Okay.
And they got to do the turns and all the things.
Yeah.
And so he knows how to do. Of course, he loves all that. And I told him, I said, there'll be none of that if I'm in the plane, because if you do any of that while I'm on the plane.
Right.
I'm divorcing you. I'll never speak to you again. You're kicked out of and he knew I was serious. This is the same kid I told him that when he first started showing pigs, he was 2 years behind Garrett, right?
Okay, yeah.
And of course, Griffin's a bit of a bragger anyway. Oh, I'm going to go out in the first year and win showmanship. And I'm like, and if you don't win showmanship, you're grounded.
Oh,
and
keep that at a minimum.
Yeah, but he won.
Little brat.
He is a little brat. No, but he knew I was serious. Like,
Right.
you can't do anything like that if you want me to fly with you ever again.
None of the
And he was
showboat
so
stuff.
good.
Yeah.
He was so good, and it was awesome, and it was so incredible to watch him. And then I was sitting in the back, and so I got to see both my boys up there, and Garrett was up there, beaming next to his little brother. The whole experience was wonderful. So yeah, I'm real proud of
fantastic.
him. It's exciting.
Fantastic. Wow.
Never dreamt my
Look at you.
18-year-old would be
what
flying
Brett,
planes.
You know what Brett says about flying when he doesn't worry about it. He goes, because it's your time, it's your time. But he says the only thing I worry about is what if it's the pilot's time?
Right. See, it's like a whole other variable, right?
Why does he think so much? He shouldn't think that much. He's a very smart individual, but he shouldn't think that much.
I'm totally with him.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've seen this in the news. There have been several pilots recently, either having heart attacks in the cockpit, passing out, having strokes while in the air. I don't know if you've seen this or not.
Yeah, I have.
There's
It's fake news.
no, it's not.
It's on
In fact,
Facebook.
One just happened, I think out of Chicago.
Okay.
Recently.
So they have provisions in place. For
Well,
them,
now
right?
usually there's two pilots,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But a lot of airlines have cut down to one pilot because of staffing issues and obviously money,
Sure.
Not as many people are traveling or whatever.
Sure.
So Griffin just recently flew to Utah with his girlfriend's family.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, here's what's happening. This could happen. You just don't know. Be ready to land the plane. No,
Right.
I said, be ready. You better be ready to fly the plane because they may come out and say, "Is there anybody here who can fly a plane?"
Right.
And Perry goes,
No better way to make people stay calm.
right. And, that's happened before, though. Is there anybody? And Perry said, no, they won't come out and ask if there's anybody that can fly the plane. They'll ask if there's anybody that can land the plane.
Land the plane.
Because right?
Well,
they have automatic pilot, right?
Right, but I really feel like all the passengers would want to complete the trip.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I mean, let's just get it over with.
So
right?
I told Griffin,
I realize you're
I'm
having a heart attack.
pretty sure I could land the plane. I just don't know how successful it will be.
They've never left one up there.
that doesn't count. Those don't. That kind of landing doesn't count.
Oh, well.
No.
But anyway, so I told him, I said, you and Jason need to be prepared. Oh, we've got this. We'll just butter it right in. We'll just lay some butter right. That's the big lingo.
Oh, is that the lingo?
Again, bragger.
Okay. All right.
No, but he did a good job. But it wouldn't have surprised me if that makes me feel good. Now when I fly in a big plane and he's with me, I feel like he could probably get us down out of the air.
Right. You've got
The
little
best
Maverick
part, though,
with you.
before we go to a break, yes, a little Maverick.
Little
That's
Maverick,
right. I
right.
call him Sky King.
Right.
That's his new
Nice.
nickname. But the one thing that was the coolest thing for me flying was you have to have headphones on, and the mic
to communicate,
to communicate
right.
with him. But when he did the air traffic control call, they give the
Pepper
Alpha,
one,
Alpha Charlie,
BB Tower.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all that. And so what they do is they give you the call, or like they tell you what runway and where to attack, whatever. And so they say it to you, and then you have to repeat it back. So you have to be listening, catch everything they say, and repeat it back to them, because they have to know that you heard their instructions. And he just nailed it. And it was so cool to hear my kid's voice through that mic and those headphones doing the. And I looked at Garrett, his brother, and I said, "Wow, he sounds like a real pilot." You know what I mean? Like it sounded like a real pilot.
Right.
That was the best.
Not just a fake pilot.
Not a fake one.
He's a real one.
I think he's a real pilot.
He's a real one. That's awesome.
So he's going to get his commercial.
That is outstanding. I know you're very proud, and you should be.
Just really, really, really awesome. So, and I think he's going to end up instructing at some point too. A lot of pilots we've talked to that we've met. It's a great community. The aviation community is really stellar. It's really incredible. But a lot of pilots we've talked to have said, tell him to get his instructor's license or certification, because if you can teach it, you can fly it.
Right.
You know, and so anyway, pretty cool. Anyway, great story.
Headed back to Top Gun to instruct.
He's going to go back to Top Gun.
Top Gun instructor.
Yeah, he's going to get the girl probably, and all the things. They're going to make a movie about him.
Right.
Yeah, whatever.
Now who's bragging?
Yeah, that's me talking like I'm Griffin.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break here. We'll be back with more from the general store coming up. Welcome back to WCSM's General Store, where we just generally have a good time and laugh and just mostly at ourselves and each other, which is a good thing. And our community's growing.
It really is.
Which is awesome. It's been really fun to watch. This is new for us as far as podcasting and YouTubing and all the things. But it's been fun to see those numbers climb and the likes and the subscriptions and all that stuff. So keep up the great work. We hope that you'll continue to share and encourage your friends to share and all that stuff. So thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, just make some quick acknowledgments here. Like I said, the list continues to grow. It's like somebody will say something, somebody will put a thumbs up or a nice emoji on for encouragement. It's really helping us out a lot. Just want to give a quick shout out. What'd you say? Hugs and highs?
Hugs and highs. Yeah, I love it.
I'm just going to do a shout.
Okay.
Let's go with Greg Doan. Thank you, Greg. Michael Osborne. Also, Mindy Boer. Mike Workman still listening to us. Angela Inman. Thank you, Angela. Sherry Olson. John Baker. Stelma Horn. Denise Huffman. Marilyn Clark. Also, Tina Reagan. Tim Weisenberger and Teresa Hull.
Very good, hello. Thank you. And that's just a tip of the iceberg.
Just a snippet.
We thank them for visiting the store.
Thank you.
Yes, that's right.
Store.
Yes, come on in.
Set a spell.
Set a spell.
Well, here we are coming to you from the 70x7 studio,
right.
And we're glad you're here. Now, so that's another thing. Before I came to do the podcast, Griffin said, "Oh, by the way, Jamie and Jason, which are his girlfriends, mom and dad, listened to the podcast or watched it, the YouTube of it, and loved it. Said it was great. They really enjoyed it. So you got a couple more fans, they said. So and those are like new listeners,
Excellent.
So it's good that the
because not everybody, had an
followed us
on
radio.
On radio. I mean, it was Friday afternoon. They may have been at work.
Sure.
Whatever it was. I think we maybe tried Facebook Live a couple times. Yeah. Didn't really.
Couldn't get great angles and things like that.
It wasn't. We didn't have a producer.
Right, so, like Mike and Carter. They're doing such a great job for us.
It makes a huge difference.
Totally.
It really does.
Totally. So I'm glad it's in this format now. Yep. We can put it on the YouTube,
Right.
and people can go anytime they want.
That's what's great
So,
about it.
yeah.
The YouTubes, it's always there, you know?
Yeah. Just come on in, open the door,
That's right.
swing open that screen door, let the bell ring.
That's right.
And come on in and sit with us.
What would do you have some nuggets of knowledge maybe for parents about raising their kids? For instance, like one thing I was thinking about the other day that and there were times I questioned myself about it for sure and wondered if I was doing it wrong, but now that they're grown, I think I got it right by the grace of God, right? So, but my kids didn't do a lot of play dates. Like they didn't go, I mean, they had some friends and they would go play some or whatever, but there weren't a lot of play dates, a lot of sleepovers. I really kind of forced them together, and they played together a lot, and they were each other's best friends. I mean, like I even put on, they share a bathroom, and I even put on the wall, because I have a brother, I always have a friend. That was kind of their motto and kind of what I always worked toward with them, because, you know, I was always with the boys because Perry and I were so much older when we had them. I said often to them that we'll be gone most of your adult life because your dad and I are just older parents. So all you're going to have is each other. So you gotta be close. You know, you're going to be each other's connection to your dad and I when we're gone. And so now I look back and I'm so thankful that I did that. So that would be my encouragement to parents. Because I think society kind of pushes for that.
Oh, yeah.
Play date. Oh,
Yeah,
get your kids
absolutely.
out. You got to socialize them.
Yeah.
Do you? You know what I mean? I mean, you'll get socialization in certain ways, but that doesn't mean you just turn them loose.
Right.
Let them have all the sleepovers. Let them, you know, because they're being influenced by maybe, not that their friends are bad. I'm not saying that,
but people outside of your scope or outside of your control.
For sure. And I think that has made a huge difference with how we did it in that aspect. So that would be my encouragement is don't feel pressured to do the play dates. Encourage your kids to be each other's best friends because that's the best friend they're ever going to have.
Yeah.
That's my kind of nugget of knowledge. So what do y'all think?
Yeah, you know, I've always thought, you know, kids don't need a friend in parents. They don't need
Amen.
another friend or a best
Right,
friend.
right.
You know, God put you here to be the parent and to be their friend. They've got friends, you
Right.
know, that's handled. So I've always had one rule for my kids. I made it real simple, real simple. My rule, and I think it covers everything, is just don't embarrass me. That
Covers a lot of ground.
It covers everything. It's kind of one of those catch-all things. But I would say, you know, they don't need a friend. They need somebody that they can rely on, that they can turn to, that they can come to in times, you know, when they're down, when they need somebody to talk to in confidence, and they can say anything to, and know that, you know, it's going to be taken care of. It's going to be okay. We'll get through it. Yeah, that's like I said. I've always had that feeling about my kids. You know, they don't need friends. They need a dad.
Yes.
They need their mom. You
Yep.
know, and there's that special love from the parent,
Yep.
and really special love from the mom. I'll put it out there. I mean, really. I mean, it's you talk about your kids a lot. It's because you're a mom.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing more special than a mom's.
A friend of ours, Billy Carney, God rest his soul, passed away last year, always told the boys, your dad loves you, but nobody loves you like your mom.
So true.
It's just, well, and we carried, you know, right? We
Right.
carried them. So that's, I think,
Yeah.
part of it too. Do you have any little nuggets?
Well, I think from what my parents did for us and what I'm trying to pass on to my kids is keep them involved in church.
Oh, amen.
The church is a
Love
big
that,
part
yeah.
of you get that foundation.
Yeah.
So even if you stray from it, like I did, I strayed from the church, but you come back because you got that foundation.
Proverbs
So
22:6.
I think
my
that's so
favorite
important
verse.
just to keep that involvement in their life.
Train up a
Yeah.
child.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's, I agree
You
with
won't
that.
stray or come back.
Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, even if you feel like they're not getting anything out of it, they're there.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
they're
dad-
absorbing.
They're there.
My dad
Yeah.
always said,
And they know.
it'll never hurt you to go to church.
He was right. He was right about a lot
He
of
was.
things.
Yeah, he was.
the
I was lucky. Yep.
Roof won't cave in on you.
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
That's right.
Bill,
That's
how
right.
about you? What's some things you and Marianne have you tried and true that has worked?
I don't know. It kind of builds on what you mentioned about your kids becoming friends, because Mickey and Andy, they will call each other, and
Oh.
if one of them's got something bugging them, they're good buds.
I love that.
It does. It warms your heart. That's for sure.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's for
awesome.
certain. So
Good stuff.
Yep.
Well, and I think too that to kind of build on what you were talking about kids need parents, right? I mean, my best friend told me she has 2 girls who are 2 and 4 years older than my boys, so she had her kids first, and I remember her telling me early on that your job is not to be their friend.
Yeah.
Your job is to raise a responsible adult.
That's right.
And I've never
That's right.
forgotten that. But something too, I think that we lose sight of, or we don't hear enough. That I mean, I read a lot of books, to try to help me parent better. That kids want discipline.
Right.
They won't.
Right.
They won't tell you that, and maybe
Yeah.
they don't even realize it. But they need to know that there's someone who's going to pull them back from the ledge.
That's right.
Because they're going to push, right? The
Oh my
envelope.
gosh,
That's
yes.
what they do. It's like
Yes.
and they do that to see if someone will save them.
Right. Right.
Because they have to have that safety net, right? And so
Boundaries.
that's what the parents
You
should
have
be.
to have some boundaries.
Yeah.
And you talk about that ledge, if you engage them when they are talking that way and talking to you in a disrespectful way,
Mm-hmm.
and you try to talk back to them in a disrespectful, you're not doing them any favors at all by engaging them in that
Right.
disrespectful
No.
way. I mean, that's something that you need to get a hold of very, very quickly.
Yes.
Very, very quickly. And you talk about that's a ledge. That's
Yep.
a ledge, and
Yeah.
you're both going to fall off of it
Right.
if you allow that to go on. And that's not easy. I mean, that's because your whole goal, you want your kids to grow up in a certain way and act a certain way, and like I said, not embarrass me.
Right.
I
Right.
mean,
Right.
but they're kids. They're kids, and they're growing, and like you said, they need that discipline, and they want those boundaries.
Yep.
They'll never tell you that.
No. And I don't even know if they know they want
Right,
them.
right.
Right.
But that gives them this feeling of safety.
Yes.
That they're going to be okay. Even if I
Yes.
push, they're not going to let me go too far, basically.
right.
And they may be angry. I mean, how many of us here have had our kids say, "I hate you. You're ruining my life." I mean,
Yeah.
Never heard that.
yeah.
Or I can't wait till I'm 18 and I can.
I haven't
grab
heard
it out
that
of the
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
I haven't heard that today.
They both,
Exactly.
They both spent the night at somebody else's house.
Right, exactly. You haven't seen them for a few days, right? Yeah.
I
so-
think it's important to know it's okay to say the word no to your kids.
Amen.
As much as you want to please them in every way and supply their needs, you know when it's not right. You know when it's time to say no. And it's not always easy to say no.
No, because you
Because
inherently
you see the
want, well,
hurt in their face.
and you want them to like you.
Correct.
But it's
You do.
okay if your kids say "I hate you" and they're mad at you.
Right.
And I've said this for years. I said it a lot when they were growing up. If my kid is mad at me and they hate me, I'm doing my job.
There you go.
That was
Yeah.
my like barometer. Is like if they're mad at me, then I'm doing something right. Because if they weren't,
I think you touched on it 3 episodes ago. I can't remember which episode it was, but you were talking about making your kids do their laundry, clean up their room, or
Yeah.
whatever it was, and because of that, they're going to be able to go out after they get away from you,
Right.
and they will eventually.
okay, good,
They will get away from you eventually, but you don't want to turn them out there.
and not be productive, or they can't be productive.
It's like, in your case, both your boys with their wives someday, and you're going to give them over to wives that have to do everything for them. You don't
Right.
want that. I mean, that's not good on a marriage.
No.
They have to be able to be productive and help out a little bit. And that's what I've always wanted for my kids. You've got to be able to be a human being that produces.
And again, that always fell back for me. Your dad and I are not going to be here most of your adult life. I've got to teach you to take care of yourself so that when I'm not here, when it's time for me to go, I can go with a peace, knowing that you're going to be okay.
Right.
You know, I've given you the tools, and you're going to be okay whether I'm here or not.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
So I just think that is, really important, and hopefully that will help some of the parents that are maybe listening right now. But
Yeah.
make your own decisions, make your own rules. Don't always
And
follow
one
what
thing-
society's
One thing
doing.
that you haven't had to do is raise girls.
I prayed that I
Yes.
wouldn't.
Right?
No, yeah, I got lucky.
Three of us, right?
Oh, I didn't get lucky. I don't want to say I don't like
no,
girls,
I
and,
get it.
and then
I
I
get
would.
Yeah.
But I didn't want girls
It is
because I
different.
just would be. I
It
didn't
is
know if I could
totally
handle
different.
it.
Boys are different than girls.
It's totally different.
No doubt.
And Sarah, who's a freshman this year.
Yeah.
We won't go into
At
where
some
she is.
evil institute.
we won't go into that. But she sent me a picture of the first dance that she was going to.
Uh-oh.
And I about fell out of my chair.
Did you approve of what she had on?
I said, "There's no boys at this dance, right?" And so, but anyway, girls are completely a different animal when it comes to.
Now, you know what my
when it comes
dad
to-
said? I was the only girl, and you know what my dad said? My dad, and a lot of dads have said this. If you have a boy, you worry about one boy.
Right.
If you have a girl, you worry about
All
all
the
the boys.
Yes,
And
indeed.
that's so true.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I've
And it's a little
I've
disturbing,
studied that
but-
over the years. I really have, because it really makes me nervous. Now Sarah, God bless her, she hung out with her buds and she didn't date through high school. But now she's in college. So I haven't heard any word about any dating going around. I said, no boys, she can date Purdue Pete if she wants to. That's the only boy I would.
My daughter's dating, so and she's
that's
16.
right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's
So-
16. He's a good kid.
He is.
You know
And
it.
he's a good family.
Yeah.
That makes a difference.
Yeah.
makes a
He's very
difference.
polite, very good kid.
But you know what? Before we go, I want to say, while we're on this subject, to any young girls that might be listening or might listen to this at some point, value yourself.
Yes.
Value yourself. Don't let
Absolutely.
society tell you
Please.
what your value is, because society, and I don't mean society as people, but the universe or the world will lie to you. You are
Betcha.
valuable.
Yes.
And so don't throw yourself away because you feel like that's what everybody's doing. Stand out and above the crowd and value yourself enough to do your own thing. Just don't fall into that trap.
Absolutely.
I can't tell you how.
I tell Sarah that continuously.
I just want you to respect yourself
Know
and
your
have value.
worth.
That's exactly
Know
right.
your worth. You
Yep.
you have been beautifully and wonderfully made.
That's exactly
by
right.
by the King of the world.
That's right.
And he made you.
Yes.
And it's really not for you to give away.
And you're the daughter of the king. So
Absolutely. You
you're
are
worth-
royalty. You
Yep.
are royalty.
That's
so
right.
please keep that in mind. You're worth it.
Yep.
You are worth it. Don't let anybody tell you any different.
That's right.
Ever.
Amen. I love it. That's a great note to wrap up on. Share this with the young girls in your life, if you would.
Please.
Next episode, maybe we'll talk about some things that the young boys need to know, too. All right? Right here. So for Curt and Mark and Bill, this has been WCSM's General Store. Thanks for joining us.